Let's see, what else do I want to say? I have no plan, like, I don't do this. You guys are my test subjects, you guys are the guinea pigs, you guys are the first to see me ever speak about my book or in public about my book. So I was just telling someone a little bit ago that I started to go to Toastmasters, which is a group that teaches you how to public speak. And I signed up and I paid my dues and I got everything and I got my whole first speech prepared and I never came. And I procrastinated coming. So I have no speaking experiences as of yet. But, you know, eventually I'll get over that fear and get to that part of my path. For now, I'm just going to celebrate tonight that this is done. It's complete. It's in print. And I'm very excited to hear everybody's feedback. For those of you that don't purchase the book tonight, you can get it anytime that you want off of Amazon.com. It's called Jaded Grace. And you can also get it on my website, jadedgrace.com. There's, on my website, there's a little to do on what it's about. You can sign up for my blog if you're interested. You can connect with me by emailing me or reading, commenting on my website as well. I'm really, really looking forward to hearing feedback about what people are getting from the book, what they think of the book, did it keep them in, anything, because it's going to help me for future writing, or, you know, and help me to determine where I need to go with this book, because I did write it to help other people, and I want to try to get it to the right people. So I'm open to ideas. My doors are open, in other words. I want the feedback, and I want you all to be a part of the experience, which you are already. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a couple of readings from the book, and then after that, I'll have you guys ask questions if you have questions. We'll do like a little question and answer session. And then after that, I'll do some book signings in the back, and we're going to give away door prizes to Jeffrey's. And I think Jeffrey's going to, if anybody hasn't signed up and wants to put their name in the basket to win the door prize, he's the basket guy right down there. And then another thing I just want to let you guys know is we're supposed to parking is supposed to be in the other parking lot across the street. You know, I don't know how big of a deal it is. That's what was in the contract. And Ella's going, it doesn't matter. I kind of like parking it in the Peely Surf, right? Yeah, so if that bothers anybody, you can move your car. It can be towed. Okay, I said it. But it probably won't be. So, anyway. Okay, so are you guys all ready to hear a little bit of the book? Okay. Let's see. I am going to read it's going to be about two 10-minute readings. Can you guys, is that cool?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't want to bore everybody, and I don't want to go on too long.
It's only boring to you because you've read it 50,000 million times.
Exactly,
For us,
right.
it's fresh.
Right, okay, yes, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna actually read out of a chapter called The Awakening. And this is a chapter that is when does most of you know what my book is about? Most of you guys do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is a chapter about me actually having my repressed memories come up of my dad molesting me. So this is, and I was having a spiritual experience at the same time. So I'm going to read out of that one. got home, I called Jack and asked if he could help me set up my computer. I don't know anything about computers, he said. I don't even have one. That's okay, you can come anyway. Sure, I'd love to get out of the house. I don't know why I wanted him there, I just did. After a leisurely shower and a light house cleaning, I drove to his house to pick him up. His tall body crouched in the front seat of my Celica. He looked relaxed and rested, ready to put his all toward my project. The fact he was willing to help, along with his calming presence, made me feel like I had a new friend. Hey Jack, I'm setting up my computer because I'm going to write. I don't know what. It came to me this morning out of nowhere, and I just know I'm supposed to do this. Is that crazy? Unlike me, his smile rarely left his face, and I could tell he took my lunacy lightly. No, it doesn't sound crazy at all, he replied. I wasn't sure if I believed him. I kept checking to see if he was laughing under his breath, but his demeanor portrayed a perfectly content gentleman taking a ride in a friend's car. If he thought I was crazy, he hid it well. After parking, I hurried toward my apartment. He trailed behind, stopping to smell the roses, literally. Come on, Jack, let's go. He looked up from sniffing a blossom. What's the hurry? I rolled my eyes and headed into the house, anxious to dig out my college computer. It hadn't been used for a few years, and I found it stuck in the back of my walk-in closet. I pulled it out and dusted it off as if it were an old treasure. Jack finally appeared with a flower in hand and his nose hidden beneath the petals. I blew the bangs out of my eyes. I wonder if it still works. Let's find out, he replied. We shuffled around, piecing it together, and discovered neither one of us was electronically inclined. Our inept technical abilities became the joke of the day as we sifted through wires and tried to find enough plugs for all the gadgets. We worked together with the two heads are better than one theory. Once all the parts were attached, we headed to Radio Shack in need of a missing wire, printer ink, and paper. By early evening and hours into it, our project was almost complete. Before we finished, I called out for pizza, ordering my favorite pepperoni and pineapple combo. Our dinner conversation served more as a means of procrastination than a break. I looked out the window in time. I looked out the window in time to see the sky dim as the sun began to set, and was stunned to realize the day had passed so quickly. I dove back in, and before I knew it, the computer was up and running. It works, I exclaimed in victory. High five. We slapped hands and busted up laughing. Jack lay down on my bed with his hands clasped behind his head. He looked satisfied. I know I was. I felt productive for a change. Something inside me had shifted. I had a goal, one that didn't include self-destruction. I curled up on my chaise lounge, yawning, and proudly stared at our masterpiece. I must have fallen asleep because the next thing I knew, I woke up and looked at the time, and it was 10 o'clock. Seeing it was light outside, I realized it was 10 in the morning. How did I sleep so long? I forgot I hadn't slept the night before, but instead sat at my friend Monique's in a mysterious stillness. I looked around puzzled. Jack was in my bed, still in the same position. He appeared to be sleeping. I became suspicious of the peculiar situation. Why didn't he wake me to take him home? And why is he on my bed? Feeling awkward and agitated, I got up off my chaise lounge and tried to get my bearings. Jack opened his eyes, but stayed still. Good morning, he said. I didn't respond, not only because I was pissed, but because I was distracted by a bright light seeping through the cracks of the blinds. Being mid-November, a sunny day was unusual, and my enthusiasm about the prospect of a cloudless sky propelled me forward toward the window. The sparkling glimmer of the sun, slightly spilling through, beckoned me to uncover the vitality. Wow, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. I think we can go to the beach. I twisted the levelers open, and rays of sunshine forcefully streamed through, boldly bouncing from outside the window to the floor like nothing I'd seen before. They were the kind of beams you see emanating from the sun when it's partially covered by clouds. Sometimes people call them Jesus rays. They pulsated as if they were alive, carrying them with them a dynamic energy which filled the room. Astounded by their brilliance, I ran over to the other window and opened more blinds. Again, a radiating river of light cascaded into the room. This time, the energy moved through every inch of my body. An explosion of power lifted my spirit into an ecstatic state, and an overwhelming feeling of love filled my heart. "Oh my God, Jack, do you feel that?" I spun around and looked at him, my eyes filled with amazement. "Feel what?" he said, still half asleep. "Can't you feel the sun? Oh my God, Jack, can't you feel that?" I twirled around in the light with my palms open. I passed my hand through the streaming illumination and observed the particles of dust dancing harmoniously through the air. And then it was as if I became one with it, my body merging into its vibration. I felt translucent, my mind escaping into a blissful emptiness. There was no time to think, nor did I want to. All I could do was be with the experience. I don't know how much time passed as I stood, still mesmerized in some moments and carelessly jumping around in the light in others. At some point, I abruptly stopped and stared at Jack, lounging nonchalantly on my bed. The question still remained, why was he there? His giant stature was now propped up on the pillows. I didn't recognize him as the Jack I knew, but as a gallant figure of strength, his poise serious and unshakable. There he sat as a witness to this monumental event. In an effort to understand, I innocently questioned, "Jack, are you God?" I almost laughed at the absurdity of the notion. His wide eyes stared back at me. I suppose he was stunned by the question, but before he could answer, I quite clearly heard a voice from within. "No, you're not God, Jack. You're an angel. God says you're an angel sent to help me." He looked somewhat relieved, but didn't say anything. I grinned from ear to ear, cast into the wonderment of the idea that God was talking to me. A stream of consciousness soared into the equation like a lightning bolt. Thousands of thoughts raced fluently through my mind, but there was an inability to capture and articulate any of them. I clearly comprehended that I had been catapulted to a place where I already knew everything, a place where everything made sense, but at the same time a place where nothing mattered, and a place there were no words for. Finally, Jack spoke. In a calm, monotone voice, he said, "Shannon, I cannot feel what you are feeling, but I know I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you with the information you're receiving, and I will help channel it." I was excited he validated that something was happening, but baffled as to why he couldn't feel it like I was. What was he going to help channel, and at this point, did I really care? I continued to dance around in the divine essence, feeling one with everything around me, connected but freer than I'd ever been. I was naive to the fact that I would soon experience a much different a place polar opposite to the one I was currently in, a place of darkness, a place of remembering, a place that I would need help to navigate through. As if someone had thrown me, I fell to my knees and started to uncontrollably cry. It felt good at first, like the release of an age-old sorrow. I buried my head in my hands and leaned into the floor weeping. "Why, Jack, why?" I couldn't understand the abrupt change. I didn't know why I was crying. I didn't have control over what I was saying. I couldn't look up at Jack. I felt like a blade had wedged itself into my heart. I bellowed out, feeling the piercing pain. "Why, Jack, why? Why did my father molest me?"